I'm Lindsey Moppert with Paul Hamilton here with me today. Now, Paul, let's get right into it. The Sabres fall in a really crucial game last night to the Panthers. So right now in the standings, you have Panthers, Islanders up in those two wild card spots. Penguins right behind them. Sabres about, 4 or 5 points below that. What are the circumstances, or what has to happen in order for this to become a possibility for them?
Well, to be 6 points out of a playoff spot with very few games to play, really, they're not mathematically eliminated, but the chances aren't great. Stranger things have happened. It's not like it can't happen, and you only got to catch 2 of those 3 teams. You don't have to catch all 3, because 2 of the 3 teams would get into the playoffs. So you don't have to catch all 3 of them, but you need help now. Whereas had you beaten the Florida Panthers, you wouldn't have needed help. You could get there yourself, and now it makes it a real big task for this team.
Right now, also the other thing is the Sabres have 6 more games on their schedule, correct? And where does that stand in terms of the other teams? They have how many more?
Well, they would have 4, because Buffalo has 2 games in hand on all of them. So, yeah, it makes it so Buffalo almost has to win out. They could maybe lose 1 more game and still do it. But, they really have to get on the stick. And it was really strange the way it went about in Florida, because 2 teams that were two of the highest scoring teams in the NHL went at it, and they played a 2-1 game. Who would have thought the Sabres would get great goaltending and wouldn't be able to score? That's not their MO usually. It's usually the other way around. But they just weren't able to do it. They were okay. It wasn't their worst game. They weren't awful. They defended pretty well. They kept Florida kind of to the outside, but they never really got to their offensive game until 6 minutes were left in the third period. And then they really turned it on, and then Alex Lyon stopped them. But that was the disappointing part, that they didn't play their best game in one of the biggest games of the year. And again, that's something they'll learn from. A lot of these guys haven't played in big games in the NHL, so they'll take some things away from it. And next time that comes around, hopefully they do it a little bit differently.
Right now, you talked about goaltending. You kind of touched on that there. That's not their typical thing. Usually it's swapped the other way around. So last night, Devin Levi, he gets his NHL debut. He gets his second turnaround after his NHL debut, okay? It's almost, you could argue, more pressure for him. And he proves once again, this could be his spot. He could be the guy. Now, to many people after last night's game, as you said, the chances 1%, right?
Something
just about
around there. Yeah.
Just around 1%. But is Devin Levi the silver lining in all of this?
Oh, absolutely. And he knew he was ready for this, and he just needed an opportunity. As he said last week, just give me an opportunity. I'll figure it out. I always have. And I asked him, you're 21 years old. Where did you learn to handle pressure? It seems like you've done it your whole life. And he talked about it, because that's why I wanted to be a goalie. Like right in the beginning, I wanted that pressure. You're the last guy. He goes, so it's something that I've craved ever since. So he goes, it was just, I knew I was going to be in the crease. That was the natural place for me to be. And he has handled pressure throughout his career, and now he has handled 2 games of NHL pressure. The New York Rangers are a good hockey team, a very good hockey team with a lot of talented players. He got a win and held them to 2 goals. The Florida Panthers were the 6th best team in scoring. The Sabres are the 3rd. He held them to 2 goals. And you could say none of the 4 goals he let in were his fault. They were deflections and that type of thing. So he played 2 really good teams in pressure situations. He played the biggest game the Sabres have played in a decade and made a 2-1 game out of it. And he's only played 2 NHL games.
So last night he gets 34 saves. If you're Don Granato, how many more of these 6 games that they have left in their schedule is he starting? I
treat him as my number 1 goalie right now, as far as, putting him in there. You can't anoint him that after 2 games, but that's the way I would treat it. Right now, I think he gives you the best chance to win. And that's the way they look at their goaltender, who on this day gives us the best chance to win. And that's how they look at it. He probably can't play them all, because remember, next week they play 4 games in 5 days. And just from a stamina standpoint, I mean, you're going to be on empty. You just can't go 4 and 5. So he can't play them all, but he can play a bunch of them. We'll see, maybe 4 total, maybe 5. We'll see how it goes. And then the conversation is, what do you do with them next year? That's coming up real soon too.
Exactly. Now, we'll have to see how that all goes down tomorrow night. 7 o'clock against the Detroit Red Wings. Paul Hamilton, thanks so much.
No problem.